Exposing the darkness of Disney Yoga Edition. Disney has been opening the door to demons for ages, and I think about it for myself because I was a child watching Disney and I became oppressed at a very young age. I practiced yoga as a psychic, and in the new age, it's very, very common to practice yoga, to meditate, to align your chakras. And unfortunately, the enemy presents yoga in such a way that it is just stretching and breathing. Satan masquerades as an angel of light, and it's no wonder that his servants would masquerade as a servant of righteousness. Everybody wants to feel better, right? So he has to make it look good and seem good, but it's not. Yoga is a Hindu spiritual practice that worships their false gods, which are demons. As a Christian, we cannot drink from the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. We cannot engage in practices. These are spiritual practices that you cannot take the spiritual part away from. God says in his word in Exodus 20:3 to put no other gods before him. So when you practice yoga and you're paying tribute to Hindu gods, to false gods, you are practicing idolatry. And whenever we reject God and we break his law and we're worshiping demons, you are inviting these demons into your life, and it's really a spiritual danger. Chakras is a part of that doctrine of demons. They believe that they are energy centers. There are over 100 of them, but they focus on the 7 primary. And this is where the Kundalini spirit gets involved. The 7 primary chakras are from the top of your head to the base of your spine, and that's where the Kundalini spirit lay. They believe that when the chakras are aligned and opened, that you will have optimal health, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and psychically. The new age meditation that comes along with yoga opens your mind and makes you vulnerable to demonic entities. And that's what you're bringing home with you. And if you have kids, you're bringing it home to your kids as well. It is so important to talk about how you invite demons into your life unaware. God has saved me out of the new age and many others as well, and we're speaking up about this. Check out this clip with Doreen Virtue.
Yoga means yoke. Yoke, if you're not familiar with that term, it's not the egg yolk, it's bind, like putting a rope around something. And it means yoke to Brahma, the Hindu creator god. The yoga poses are each designed very meticulously to be an offering and to glorify the 330 million Hindu gods, goddesses, and demons. You know, Romans 1 tells us to present our body as a living sacrifice to the one true God. And yet, let's talk about how yoga takes that in a whole different direction. And by the way, Christians from India are shocked that any Western Christian would get involved with yoga because they know the difference. In fact, George Alexander, who's a PhD, a Christian, and he has taught world religions at Biola University, Dr. Alexander says that many Westerners who practice yoga today are unaware that the physical positions assumed in yoga symbolize a spiritual act worshiping one of the many Hindu gods. So let's talk about the Sanskrit name for warrior 1, 2, and 3, because that's the English translation. The Sanskrit is Virabhadrasana, okay? Mm-hmm. So asana, we know, is pose. What's Virabhadras? Well, it turns out it's a Hindu deity. And the Hindu deity was a murderer. So Virabhadrasana, or warrior 1, 2, and 3, is acting out a demonic murder scene where you are the murderer as your arms are out to the side. It's not a natural pose. It's not a way of just simply stretching because it's very precise. If you recall, Jen, you have to have your arms completely straight. That's not a natural pose.
What if you're doing these yoga poses and you're thinking about Jesus?
Yeah.
And you're singing worship music maybe, and you're saying, hey, God knows my heart.
Yep.
What would you say to the audience about that?
Well, there's a few things that we're not to drink drink the cup of with the demons, the same cup. And so, you know, this is going to be hard for people who are unsaved to hear, but those deities in Hinduism are not God. They're not. They're the same as we keep talking about fallen angels. Those are like fallen angels, unclean spirits. And they're real. They may have powerful effects. You might tell me anecdotes about how Ganesh has helped you, or Kuan Yin has helped you. You know, she's more from Buddhism. Or I used to think that they were helping me with money and love and such, and I had statues of them everywhere. So can you redeem that if you took away the statues and took away the parts of? No, because each of the poses are rooted and grounded. Their origin matters. An old Shakespearean phrase, I think thou protest too much. Why do people insist you have to make it Christian yoga or holy yoga? They don't do that with soccer or basketball, you know,
right.
because we know deep down that yoga is a spiritual act. We know that we can't separate the spirituality from the poses. And namaste means, and it's very blasphemous, it means the God within me recognizes and honors the God within you. Yoga is a gateway. As we've said, the studies are there. It's not just anecdotal.
Let's talk about how Disney is using yoga to come at your kids. Disney has been in the news a lot lately with movies like Encanto, Frozen, and many others. Even when I was a kid, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, for witchcraft, for divination. They're coming at your kids big time, Disney. All I had to do was Google search Yoga for Kids by Disney. A video popped up. Frozen, a cosmic kids yoga adventure.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cosmic Kids, and this is your place for yoga, stories and fun. It's easy, just copy the moves I do and enjoy the adventure. We always start in the same way, and that's by sitting on our bottoms and crossing our legs and bringing our hands together at our hearts and saying our secret yoga code word, which is Namaste. Namaste. Today we've got a special episode. We're doing Disney's movie Frozen. So we stand up and reach up to the snow, saying, "Hello, snow." Step one leg back behind us, big long step, bottoms up to the sky, where we woof like a little husky dog, lift up one of our legs like a happy tail, and we put it between our hands, where we pretend to be an ice skater again. Forward and one leg back. Bend your knee and stretch your arms. She could make ice, zoom, and frost, zoom, and snow, zoom. Finish just the way we started, with our secret yoga code word, Namaste.
The enemy is really deceptive, my friends, using something that seems like innocent. You know, Disney, Mickey Mouse. That's what my dad used to say, Mickey Mouse. They've been watching this since they were kids. And it's supposed to be fun and, you know, and joyous. And come on, we have Disney World and all this stuff. Great opportunity for the enemy to sneak right in there and use them for his agenda. His agenda is to get your kids away from God, to have your house unprotected spiritually, and for them not to be saved by Jesus Christ. So many things, like I said, parents don't know. You just don't know. You haven't seen it all. You're not sure what divination is. You're watching the movies, or you let them watch the movies. And this is how they're weaseling their way in with the witchcraft and now with yoga, a spiritual practice that worships false gods, which are demons. And they have your kids doing it. Children are innocent. They're vulnerable. And that's where the enemy comes to attack all of us, guys, when we're vulnerable. But children have no spiritual defense without Jesus Christ, and they are just prime targets for the evil one. He doesn't skip over children because they're cute. Please don't be deceived. He comes at them to prevent them from knowing the Lord. He comes to attack. He comes to steal. And he is the father of lies. I, like many others, are coming up against the demonic forces that are trying to get you away from the gospel, get you away from God, and that are coming after your innocent children, guys. They're doing this. Yoga is so prevalent now here, and people just don't understand what they're doing. They're deceived. I urge you and encourage you to stay away from yoga. Don't let your children watch it, and don't let your children do it, because this will invite the demons into their life, and we don't want that to happen. Only in Jesus Christ is there spiritual protection and eternal life. If you're somebody who's been doing yoga and you just didn't know, I totally understand you. I was deceived too, but once you know, it's up to you. I pray that you would choose Jesus. Come to him today as you are. He is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father but through him. Worship God, not his creation.